we are looking at tax tip and markups. So if I go to the store and buy an item, I'm not only purchasing or paying that amount for the item, I'm also paying a percent of that price in tax and then add those together and I have a total. Same thing with something that's service-based, like I go to a restaurant and there's a waiter and waitress, they serve me, then I give them a tip. I'm not only paying for my meal, but I'm also paying a percent of my meal to the waiter and waitress. Or let's say I own a company and whatever item I'm selling, let's say it costs $10. Well, I'm not going to turn right around and sell that item for $10. I need to make some sort of profit. So maybe I mark it up 300%. And so then I'm selling that $10 item for $30. I've made some profit there because I've got to run my business and pay for everything. So tax tip and markup is not only the original price, but it's also an additional that you would add to the original. There's a couple different ways we can get there. What I want us to do is use the percent equation. I also want us to think about it like this. So I am paying for 100% of this $20 item at the store. I'm also paying for 4% in sales tax. So 100% of 20 and 4% of 20 is the same thing as 104%. Okay, so 100% for the original item, 4% for the sales tax. Together, that means I'm paying for 104% of 20. Now, I did write this out, but I can easily do 100 plus 4 in my head, and that's what makes this method very, very quick. And then I'm going to use the percent equation. So 104% as a decimal would be 1.04. Multiply that by 20. And I would have my answer of $20.80. That would be my total that I would pay. Okay, if I have a $5 item with a 7% sales tax, again, I am paying for 100% of this item, an additional 7% of 5. So that gives me 107% of 5 is what I'm paying. So again, take 107, convert it to a decimal, multiply by 5, and I get $5.35. And usually the sales tax is pretty small, maybe like between 5 to 10%. Or for tip, it's usually 15, 20%, maybe even 10%. So with this, I'm going to use the same thing. It's just my number is going to be a little bit bigger. So again, I'm paying for this meal. I'm going to pay for 100% of it plus 10% for the tip. So that means I am paying for 110% of the meal price. So I will take 110% as a decimal, multiply by 3232. And I would get $35.55. Okay, let's say that I have a meal that is $45.20. Again, I'm paying for 100% of that, plus an additional 20% for the tip. So that means that I am paying 120% of $45.20. So 120% as a decimal would be 1.2 times 4520. And that gives me a total of 5424. With markups, I'm going to do the same thing, but a lot of times the markups are high percentages, 50%, 100%, 200%. So be careful when you are converting the bigger percents to a decimal. For example, 120% would not be 0.12. It would be 1.2. So I am paying for 100% of this plus an additional 120% for the markup. That gives me a total percent of 220%. And then that is what I would be converting to a decimal. 220% would be 2.2 times the $70. And that gives me that we would sell this TV for $154 in order to make a profit. Let's say you have a craft business on the side that you make bracelets, and let's say it costs $4.15 to make a bracelet. In order to cover your supplies and your time, you mark it up 300%. So again, I am paying for 100%, or I have 100% of this, plus I am marking it up an additional 300%. So that means that I'd be selling it for 400% of $4.15. 400% as a decimal would just be 4.0 times 415. And that would be $16.60.